Hi, I'm Eliot from Magoosh, and in this video, we're going to think about IELTS Writing Task 2, and especially things that you should avoid doing, mistakes that people make on IELTS Writing Task 2. One mistake that's very common is that students copy language from the question prompt in their essay response, okay? So your question is going to give you the topic. It's going to give you language that you could potentially use or think about using in your essay itself, right? And that makes sense because you're supposed to write about the thing they're telling you to write about in the question. But if your language is too similar to the question prompt itself, that actually can be a penalty, okay? And especially if you copy entire phrases or a whole sentence from the question, that's really bad to do. If you copy one or two words, maybe you can get away with it. But the best thing to do is to make sure that you paraphrase language from the question when you write your essay. Especially in your introduction, you're most likely going to be presenting the topic you're writing about in the introduction paragraph of your essay. You're going to have a thesis statement in the first paragraph of your essay. Try your best not to use any of the language from the question prompt in that part of your essay. If you can do that, if you can show the person grading your essay that you can paraphrase language from the question prompt, it's really going to stand out as something that shows off your strong English skills. So try your best not to copy any of the language from the question prompt as much as you possibly can. All right, another mistake that people make on IELTS Writing Task 2 is that they don't answer the question prompt completely. IELTS Writing Task 2 questions, there are several types of them, always ask you to do a couple of different things, okay? So as an example, you might get a question where you're supposed to compare two things, okay? So you might need to compare living in a big city to living in a small town, something like that, right? Then they often have a little follow-up question for you where you have to express your opinion on something or express a preference about something. So in your comparison essay, you might need to compare living in a small town and a big city and then explain which you prefer. Would you like to live in a small town or would you like to live in a big city? Make sure you answer all parts of the question for Task 2. Another common mistake that people make is that they don't quite get the paragraphing, the organization of the essay exactly right, okay? So some students I see answering with their Task 2 practice questions write one long paragraph response, or maybe they have two paragraphs, a kind of introduction, a kind of conclusion at the end. Your Task 2 responses should have a really basic essay structure, which includes a short introductory paragraph, at least two body paragraphs where you explain your ideas in more detail, and then a conclusion. It's a standard essay style, especially in the kinds of institutions you're applying to. Schools in the United States or the UK or other places around the world will expect the kind of paragraph structure just like that, even if it's one that's unfamiliar to you in the place where you went to school, okay? So it's something you should learn about, how to organize your essays in paragraphs that work logically for IELTS Writing Task 2. Another mistake people make on IELTS Writing Task 2 is that they don't manage their time as well as they should. So part of the task is to write this 5-paragraph essay in 40 minutes. That's a short amount of time. And you don't have a lot of time to think about what you want to write about and then actually get it on the page and get all your ideas out there in an organized and structured way. So you need to have a plan, and that plan involves managing your time very, very carefully. My recommendation is that you spend about 2 to 3, maybe 4 minutes if you need more time at the very beginning thinking about how to organize your response, okay? So you're just brainstorming and then writing a short outline for yourself with the structure of the essay that you plan to write, okay? In my experience with students, the students who do best and have the clearest and most organized essays are those who spend the time at the very beginning of your section planning your response and getting a short outline together. Okay, but then you should get on to writing. Don't spend more than 3 or 4 minutes on your brainstorming. You need to begin writing because there's really not a lot of time to get all your ideas out on the page. So you should have at least 34, 33, 35 minutes, something like that, to write your response, and then save at least a minute or two at the end of the section to quickly read over your response. Try to find any spelling mistakes or errors you might make, something that you could write a little more clearly. It's not a lot of time, but even just going through once and doing a quick check of your writing can often help you to avoid silly little mistakes that you made because probably you're just having to write an essay super fast in 40 minutes. So to learn more about IELTS Writing Task 2, all of these strategies we've talked about and how to organize your time and many more things about IELTS Writing Task 2, we've got a great resource for you in the description below. Check that out to learn all about the Task 2 and all you need to do really well on that difficult essay type that you have to do for IELTS exam. And if you like this video, check out these other videos where you can learn even more about the IELTS exam and you can do your best on exam day.